Nikou, and I'm a designer. I'm from Thessaloniki, Greece. Thessaloniki is the second largest city in Greece. It's in the northern part of Greece. It's a really beautiful and easy place to live. We run in Thessaloniki our own studio, Beetroot. It's since 2000, so it's 25 years now. And I don't think that we specialize in some specific uh, area of design. We like to use our craft to whatever comes up next. So today I'm gonna show you some of our projects, and I'm gonna guide you through some series of events that led us to where we are now and formed our approach and identity in design. So after all these years, looking back on our work, I can now finally observe some patterns. I can recognize an abstract design identity. I can see storytelling, I can see symbolism and character building. I can also see expression and empathy. But warmth, optimism, humor, but also logic and clarity, and of course, design systems. But this is now. When I started as a young designer 25 years ago, it wasn't like that. It was not that clear. I used to like to rush to find an identity, and I used to try to follow my design heroes, chasing styles. But that was only struggling because I wasn't like them, because I wasn't born in the US or in Japan or UK, and we have different experiences. It's only natural to struggle. I looked everywhere, I stopped looking what was near me. So your childhood memories, your language, the cultural heritage of your country, it's everywhere when you grow up. It's in the streets, it's in the school books, it's in the rituals, it's even in the humor of your own family at the table. So these things are really affect your personality and who you really are. And when you finally manage to look into those things, you can find all the ingredients you need to create an authentic design identity. And I think that's really important. But also, the people that you are with and the life that you're living also affects your design identity. Here you can see Yannis and Vangelis, they're here at the audience, my partners and co-founders of Beetroot. With those guys, we've been friends since high school, way before knowing anything about design. And we had some beautiful teenage memories. We debated, we discussed everything, we had fun, we dreamed together. So we built a relationship that was before entering the world of design. And that relationship was really important when later we were forming our own studio. All our decisions was affected by this relationship. When we decided to have a loose hierarchy in the studio, or when we decided to pick our team choosing from character and not from portfolio, everything was built on this, was affected by this relationship. And also, our identity and our approach is highly affected by the way we try to, the design process, the way we try to design. So, brilliant ideas are really rare. We cannot, they're coming sometimes, but they're really rare. And we like to have this process of preparing the ideas. We have to nourish the ideas. We like to sketch. We like to explore. We like to archive and doodle, and we really love this analog process. And then later, when an opportunity might arise, these ideas can form into something new and can adapt and can be a real project. But how we evaluate these ideas? We ask ourselves some questions. Does this tell a story? Can it be an element of surprise? Can it raise some emotions? Can affect human? Can it be one of many? Can it grow into a system? Maybe we can make a tool to make it more efficient and aesthetically more beautiful. So we like to use technology and always find check for the possibilities that technology might bring. Like this one, this project is called Romeo and Juliet. It's a project that was impossible to be made without the use of code and maths. So we took on original Shakespeare's text, we took every Romeo and connected with every Juliet with a red thin line, and that finally created this poster where they finally got together. We believe that ideas grow from curiosity and patience, like this next project. This is the Athens Epidaurus Festival. It's the biggest cultural festival in Greece with many events that takes place during the summer in the most iconic ancient theaters of Greece. We created a system full of human-made visual memories from the festival and from the Greek summer. We created patterns inspired by the sun, the waves, the pine needles, the step of the theaters, the sound waves. And instead of talking about the art, the content and the art itself, we try to explore the concept of experiencing artistic creation together. So we focus on the spectators having these memories of the summer. We created this illustration celebrating togetherness and the common experience, and also the Greek summer. We also made a custom typeface to honor and to reference the iconic festival posters of the previous decades, of the 60s and the 70s. It's a 70-year-old this festival. We made a system that could produce multiple design solutions. And we really loved that we can tell a story, love ideas that can tell a story that can absorb from a cultural heritage, reimagining it and bring it to today. Like this project, the next one. This is an old project, but it's really important. It's a turning point for our studio. In 2009, Greece was in crisis. It was sinking. Businesses were shutting down. There were no clients, and to keep the studio working, we had to struggle. But instead of giving up, we gathered a team, and we used this time to sharpen our craft and to create a series of self-initiated projects. One small idea came out of random sketches of mythological creatures. We thought, what if the monsters weren't bad? What if they were just misunderstood? People initially created the monsters to explain their own fears of things they didn't understand. That's what people still do, the fear of the different. So it was a good idea. We used mythology to say something that's even relevant today. And we created more illustration that were all in the same style, in the style that was referenced in the ancient Greek pottery. That led the creation to a book. We finally did a publication, and a lot of good things start when creating a book. The Misunderstood Monsters of Greek Mythology. The book, another small project we did that period, gave us exposure and we won some awards. And in 2011, during a really bad time for Greece, where everybody was talking about debt, about numbers, about dysfunction, and the headlines were really bad about our country, we went to Germany, in Berlin, And we got this prestigious international award. It was the Red Dot Agency of the Year award in 2011. That award came with an opportunity to exhibit our winning projects in a really historic place. But instead of doing that, we created the Greek Monsters exhibition. It was the monsters with sculptures and idols and also murals on the wall. But instead of using the actual myth, we used the poems, we wrote poems presenting the monsters as symbol of our own values. So we have Minotaur that stood for creativity, finding his own way through the labyrinth. Or Cyclops stood for originality with his only eye. A different narrative using humor, we wanted to propose something different. Of course, the Stymphalian birds were all about teamwork. It was a really nice experience. We had so much fun. And the news really got fast in Greece, where everybody was craving for a good story. So they asked us to bring the exhibition in Greece, and we did it in the Benaki Museum in Athens. We created more monsters, and interactive walls, and new sculptures. And it was a huge experience trying to create a big project like this. We also created an educational program where kids could learn about difficult meanings like racism by drawing and by having fun. That was a huge success. And after this, the exhibition traveled all around the world. We went to Belgrade, we went to Thessaloniki, Chicago, New York. And also, a part of it is part of the permanent collection of the Design Museum, Red Dot Design Museum in Essen, in Germany, also permanent in the fans' skin. Now the exhibition is still alive. This is in Crete. It's the first time we did this exhibition in an open space, creating the giant mural on the floor. And there are plans for more for this project, like creating the Greek Monsters Museum in Greece, but also traveling in new destinations. The success was also financial because we managed to go out of the crisis, because this exposure gave us a lot of clients, but also the project itself was one of the, in terms of revenue, one of our biggest clients the next 4 years. That gave us great confidence. Gave us confidence not only that we can create projects like this, but it gave us confidence that we can invest in our own projects, our own self-initiated project, and that it can work, that it can grow to something bigger than a small initiative project. It became a dream to have a bigger place than our office at the time. It became a dream, so a place to host these ideas and to help them grow and present our world to the community. So almost after 10 years after the Greek Monsters, we finally made our new home. It was an abandoned building, a historic building, like 120 years old, in the center of Thessaloniki, in a neglected and kind of dodgy neighborhood. But we had so much energy to do that, and we did this. beautiful. It was full. Now it was open and was ready to host all of these ideas. We had a really quality place to work with a photographic studio and a new sound studio. We also had a workshop to get our hands dirty and do some prototyping. We also opened to the public. We did a small cafe and a design shop so we can showcase our works and see how people react and test the ideas. And also had we have now a great space, an underground space with a nice LED screen so we can make exhibition or events. And now we started collaborating with artists and creating new experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also host some jazz events and where we get to design our own posters, and we really love people coming in our place and having fun and dancing and listening to the music. We also use the place to host our book collection and open it to the public, and we get donations from museum and organization and friends to make the collection bigger. We host some workshops, and also, of course, the neighborhood started to become much better. Schools were coming to visit, to see the building and to see our studio. And finally, we opened a restaurant to celebrate our love for food and for good company. Of course, we called it posters, so we can again design our own posters and put it on the wall. Another collaboration was with Andreas Neophytou. We created the Thessaloniki Tiny Talks. It's a small event inviting friends from the creative community to casually talk about whatever they want and give the opportunity to us, but also the local community, to meet and hear interesting and good people. You can see some familiar faces here. So you're invited, bring a friend, and come talk about whatever you want. I have one last project. It's a project that also started from a sketch, from a small idea. Back in 2015, we did this mural in a Greek deli shop store in London. It was the idea of Yaya, a grandmother, with the friends, the animals from the farm. We immediately understood that there was something bigger and powerful in that illustration. The color, the interlocking characters, the expressing eyes were playful but also sophisticated. They let you complete the story. Everything was already there, and also the authenticity and the cultural heritage from tradition. And it was authentic because it came from a really personal place. The inspiration was my grandmother and my memories from her, from the village, taking care of everything and everyone. It was like a superhero to me. And it was when Kostas, my other partner now, he was an intern when he came to Beetroot, now he's my partner, he proposed to create an olive oil brand because he was from Crete, he has some trees. And we said, why not? And we tried. That was the start of the Yaya and Friends project. The first thing we did, instead of doing a manifesto, we wrote a poem about how great grandmothers are. By the time we had some ideas that our clients were think that they were too bold to implement in their own projects. They were afraid of the risk, but we didn't have anything to be afraid. So we did this illustration, continue the world of Yaya, always with the same rules and the same system, and put it on the packaging, creating these rusks. It was only the image, only the story of Yaya. In front there was only illustration, and in the back it was only the poem, and couldn't even see what inside. You have to find it in the site. So it started working. It was small side project that was doing well. We also made other olive oils using the bottle as a character, and created more objects and more products, and we started doing more and more well. And then we had to find ideas to expand the system because the needs were so many. It became from an olive oil brand, a brand that had its roots in design, and it was about creative storytelling and of course authentic products. And then we built more products and more ideas. Always in the same style, always in the same universe, always having in mind the story of Yaya and the cultural heritage and tradition of Greece. We had to adapt, we had to make the team bigger now, we had to find people to create content and to shoot videos, because it was becoming really a successful project with pop-ups all around the world. This is in Vienna. And this is the first Yaya store in Seoul, in Gangnam. We also have another one in the LCDC department store. This is in LA, the showroom of Yaya. A lot of collaborations and new designs. You can see here there's some seasonal fun. We have Rudolph, and we have also Santa. And always paying attention to the details, like this illustration here, the way the one character connects with the other, and it looks like it cannot exist without the other. That's always a part of the design, and trying to be more minimal and find more ideas. Or expand the universe now that the brand is global, and get inspiration from somewhere else. Continue to challenge the rules and add new ideas to the system. You can see Yaya here without the eyes. And almost more complex illustrations. But still in the same universe. This is the time we tried to do 3D because we had to create furniture for exhibitions. And these inflatable these inflatable sculptures. We use it for an event that happened 1 month ago in Seoul, in the DTP, where Yaya had a huge presence there. The booth was all about the story, and it was a new experience. We met the mayor of Seoul, we took part in live shows, we gave interviews, we did some signing. It was unbelievable what was happening there. And more collaborations. And a new project, Super Yaya, part of the Yaya family. The first F&B store. Now Yaya has legs for the first time, and she can fly. This is what happened. It was really nice to see a small project like this, like a project that was a side project and started from only an illustration, to become something bigger, to become a brand that a lot of people love. And there is more. This is the last one. The journey continues. Now we were inviting to create the light show, to be part of the light show in the DTP. So we need to, one more time, to find ways to experiment and find a way to animate this world. So we did some more tools to do it. And this is a sneak peek. If you are in Seoul next month, you can see it.
Oh.
But this is what happened now in Beetroot. This is in the basement. We built just for fun. But many times we feel like this little bug. We try to avoid problems, we try to avoid dangers, and we try to grab opportunities. And everybody can solve their problems in their own way. But our thinking is that we stay open to what's coming, and at the same time we enjoy the view of this beautiful garden. Thank you.
Wow.